How many lucid dreaming methods should a beginner use? Let's find out. So when you first start out, I suggest just focusing on one method, and that method that I normally recommend is mild. You can use something else. You can use wake back to bed, or you can use file or something like that. You know, those are both great beginner methods as well. I just suggest mild because it was the one that I personally started with, and it's also very, very hard to mess up. Wake back to bed is also very, very hard to mess up, so that's another good one. So I suggest picking one of those two probably. You can try filed also, that's very good for beginners as well, but it's a little easier to mess up, so I suggest starting with mild or wake back to bed first. Now what I suggest doing is trying that method for at least 3 weeks every single night before you actually give up on it. And if you can't lucid dream every night, you can't practice lucid dreaming every night for whatever reason, you know, you don't want to mess with your sleep with the alarms and so on, then what I suggest is practicing say at the weekends and then giving it say a month of actually doing that. Now do be aware that even a month of the correct technique, if you're only doing it 2 nights a week, is still probably a lot of the time not going to be enough to actually get your first lucid dream. If you're doing it every night of the week for a month, then you should be lucid by that time unless you're doing something wrong. But if it's only at the weekends, then maybe not. Now alongside that you can do other things. You can do reality checks. But I consider reality checks separately because it's not something that you like wake up in the middle of the night to do. It's something that you make part of your day-to-day life. It's not like a separate technique that you go out and do every so often. It's something that you just make part of your routine. Another one related to that is meditation. I suggest doing meditation even as a beginner right away. It's really going to help you with lucid dreaming. It's going to make it much easier to get lucid. And it's going to make you more able to control your dreams when you do get lucid. It's going to make them last longer, so if you have a problem with short lucid dreams, it's really going to help there. And it just has so many benefits outside of lucid dreaming that it's just kind of silly not to do it. So I suggest doing that as well, and I don't really count that as a separate technique as well, like it kind of is a lucid dreaming technique in itself. But you know, that's okay, you can combine it with mild even on those first 3 weeks. So what about after those first 3 weeks? You haven't had any success yet, what do you do? Well, at this point, that's when I would start adding in other methods. You can also check that you're not doing something wrong. The first thing I suggest checking is the alarm. Make sure you're not setting the alarm for the wrong time, or try different alarm times. But assuming that, you know, that's all right or whatever, and assuming you're testing that out as well, you can still add in other methods. So what you can do with mild is you can wake up, you can do the mantra, and then you can perform another technique. You can do a similar thing with wake back to bed as well. For example, you can do wake back to bed, and then when you get back in bed, you can do something like wild. And if you fail at wild, then you've already done wake back to bed, or you've already done mild, so it has a chance of that method working. So it actually increases your chance of getting lucid by stacking multiple methods like that. So why don't I actually suggest this in your first 3 weeks? Well, the thing is, I want you to actually get the method down correctly. I want you to get used to actually doing mild every night, and focus on that and not be trying to do too many things at once. Once you've actually got the hang of that and you're doing that correctly, then that's when you want to add something else in maybe. So in summary, first 3 weeks, just focus on mild or wake back to bed with some reality checks and meditation. After that time, if you haven't had any success, then try adding in at least another method. You know, you wake up, you do your mild, or you do your wake back to bed, you know, you do your mantras, or you stay up for a bit of time. And then after that, you actually perform the next method. You perform filed, you perform wild, you perform SSILD. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have, be sure to subscribe over there because I put out videos every single week. If you'd like to support the channel and help it grow, then definitely check out my Patreon page. There's more information there about all the different reward tiers, what you get for supporting the channel, and why you should do it. So thank you guys for watching, take care.